Hi, everybody. I am so excited to join you again, and we are going to go over our half double crochet, which is this one. Last time we went over our single crochet and how to chain. So if you need more in-depth information on how to do a chain or a single crochet, please go to the single crochet video that goes more in depth on how to do your chains and your single crochets. For this one, we are going to work on the half double. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to make our chain. So we're going to make this square 25 stitches wide. So I'm going to start with 25 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, if you need more instruction on how to chain, please go to the single crochet video. I have it on there, how to make a chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have our 25 chains. So that's how wide our square is going to be. So like we did with the single crochet, we chained 1 to go up in height so that we could work across. So for a half double crochet, which is this one, we have to go up 2 chains to bring up the height. Remember how the half double crochet is a little bit taller than the single crochet? So this one is 1 chain to bring up the height. This one is 2 chains to bring up the height. So we've got 25 here. We're going to do our 2 more chains for the height. 1 and 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to skip those 2 chains and we're going to work in that V right there. The third V from the hook. 1, 2, 3, third chain. So this time we are going to wrap our yarn around before we go in the stitch. And then we go into that 1, 2, third chain from the hook. So we're going to go into that V right there, wrap around and pull up your loop, and you have 3 loops on your hook now instead of the 2 like the single crochet. So we've got 3 loops on our hook. So we're going to wrap around and pull through all 3. And that is your first triple crochet. You see how there's 3 little lines on there, 3 loops, 2, 3. Right, and then we're going to go into our next chain here. So again, we're going to wrap our yarn around first, and then we're going to go into, see, that is not the one that's not the chain we're going into. We're going into the next one. That one has that one has a half double in it already. So we're going into this one. So with our yarn around our hook, go into this chain, yarn around the hook again, pull it through the chain. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap around your yarn and take it through all 3. And again, in that next chain, we're going to wrap around, go into that chain, wrap around our yarn, bring it through the chain, and you have 3 loops on your hook. To wrap around again, take it through all 3 loops. All right, and we have 1, 2, 3 stitches. And we're going to use those stitch markers again because I think that working in rows back and forth, the best way to not lose that end stitch is to make sure that you are marking it. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's our first one right there. It's under that V there. And close that one up. All And then we're going to continue across this chain. So wrap the yarn around our hook, go in the next chain right there, wrap around the yarn, bring it back through. 3 loops on our hook, wrap the yarn around again, and go through those 3 loops on your hook. Okay, wrap around into the chain, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, wrap around, take it through all 3. Wrap around, go into the chain, wrap around, pull up a loop, wrap around, pull it through all 3 loops. All right, so we are going to go to the end and I'll meet you on that last stitch. All right, we're at our last chain there. So we're going to go into that loop, that last chain there. So wrap around our yarn, go into the chain, wrap around, pull it through, wrap around, go through 3 loops. All right, so that is our first row of half double crochets. All right, now to go back the other direction, what we're going to do is chain 2 on the side again and turn. Again, those 2 chains are for lifting the height so that you're not working and you're curving your pieces, because if you were not going up in height, your ends would kind of be squishy, like they'll squish down a little bit. So what we're doing is just making it so that it's nice and squared on the next row. So 2 chains there. We're going to turn our work. We're going to be working right to left. And these chains are not counting as stitches. So we're going to work into this next, to see that next V right there. So not our 2 chains, but our next stitch right there, that V is where the stitch is. So we're going to wrap our yarn around the hook, go underneath that V there, wrap around, pull up a loop, and you've got your 3 loops on your hook. Now wrap it around, take it through 3. I'm going to go again. But first, before we do our second stitch, let's mark this stitch as our first stitch. So we're going to take another stitch marker and put it in underneath that V there to mark our first stitch of this row. We're going to go into that second V right there underneath that second V. So we're going to wrap around underneath stitch, wrap around, bring it through there, and you've got your 3 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap around, take it through 3. So this is the same stitch all the way across. It's just a little bit different with where you're putting your hook through. So wrap around, put it into your stitch, wrap around, bring it through, wrap around, through 3. Wrap your yarn around, put it through your stitch, bring up a loop, 3 on your hook, wrap around, bring it through 3. And we're going to do that all the way across, and I'll meet you at that last one. Okay, so we are at our last stitch here. We've got our stitch marker in there. We're going to wrap around our yarn, go into that stitch. You can leave that stitch marker in there or take it out, whatever works best for you. Wrap around, bring it through, wrap around, take it through all 3. And now you have your last stitch of your row. And that's what it looks like. So pretty. I think half doubles are one of my favorite stitches. I just like the way they look. All right, so we're going to bring up the height again by chaining 2, 1, 2. We're going to turn our work and do the same thing all the way across. So wrap around, go into that first stitch, that first V, not our chains, but our first V there. Right there. Pull up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook. Wrap it around, take it through all 3. And that is your first stitch of that row. So we are going to move this stitch marker up to this one since we don't need it here anymore. I'm going to go under that V there. See that? Under there. And then clip that. And then you just work all the way across your row again, and you just keep going back and forth until you reach the measurement that you want. You can make a scarf with this, you can make squares, you can make a blanket out of this, you could do whatever you wanted if you make it long enough, or if you make a bunch of squares, you could sew them together. It's just lots of fun. The possibilities are endless. All right, so I'll meet back with you when this square is the height that I want it, and I will show you how to fasten off. All right, we are at the end of our half double crochet square here. I'm going to show you how to tie it off. If you need more instructions on how to weave in your ends, you can go to the single crochet stitch tutorial. The end has all the details on how to weave in your ends. I'm going to do that here, but not with all the detail. So I'm going to do 1 chain here. Let's zoom in so you can see. I'm going to do 1 chain right there. And I'm going to cut about 4 inches to give myself some space to tie in my ends. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that yarn on my hook all the way through, and I'm going to pull that chain tight. It gives it a nice little knot, nice and tidy. Then we're going to weave in our ends. I like to do 3 passes. So if you have done the single crochet and the half double crochet stitch tutorials, can you tell me so far which one you prefer? I'd love to know if you like the single crochet or the half double crochet more. I like this one more. The half double crochet is my favorite out of those 2. I'm gonna cut my end there. Remember, you don't want to cut your end unless you have sewn in the end before that. It will not come undone now, but it would have come undone if I didn't sew it through those stitches. All right, so yeah, I'd love to know what stitch you like out of these 2 and why you like it. And also, if you have made anything other than just a little swatch, have you made any projects like a scarf or anything fun like that? I'd love to know. That one only went through twice, but that is good enough. I typically like to do 3 passes, but if it's only 2, that also works. Okay. So we have completed our single crochet and our half double crochet. I'm so excited. We're going to work on our double crochet next. I'll see you guys in the next video.